friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be running you through a twisty hippie flow that was inspired by an authentic movements pocket of my practice. And through the school that I got my yoga certification with, they really stress the importance of an authentic movements pocket, which is basically where you turn off the video that you're watching or you stop anything you're doing and you just put on your favorite song and move in a way that feels good to you. It's amazing what the body can do when you just turn off the mind and let it do its thing. You can really surprise yourself with creativeness and authenticity. So grab a few things that you'll need for today. A few blocks might be nice, although thick books work great. A blanket maybe for your knees if they can get a little bit tender, and a strap. And meet me back when you're ready. We will begin on our backs. Move your friends, your furry friends, out of the way. And meet me on your backs with your feet together, knees wide. So we're creating a diamond shape in the legs here. Press the feet down to lift your bum off the ground. Tuck it forward slightly so you can lengthen your low back towards the ground a bit more. And resettle yourself back onto the mat. If you find it's hard to relax here, you can grab a few blocks and place them underneath the knees or thighs for a little bit more support. Hands can be wherever you'd like. And gently rest your eyes closed. Tap into your natural breath. And slowly make your transition or allow yourself to be here in this moment while you make the transition from your daily life and everything that you have to do today or tomorrow, and put it aside and just be here in this moment. Thank yourself for giving you this time with your mat. And if you'd like, you can start to create a little constriction at the back of your throat. So keeping the lips sealed, inhaling and exhaling out through the nose, creating an audible breath. This might sound as if you were going to fog up a mirror. But we're keeping the lips closed and warming up the throat. We'll begin to bring the right knee up towards the sky so it's parallel with our torso, or it's in line, and then fold it over the left knee. So we're creating a bit of a spinal twist here, lazy spinal twist. The knees don't have to touch, but the legs will be somewhat on top of each other. Keeping them bent, we'll reopen our book. The right knee will fall towards the right side, and now the left knee will go up to face the ceiling and drop over your right leg. Move back and forth like this a few times, opening your book and then closing the page, turning it and closing it over the other leg. Open the book, right knee falls to the right, left knee goes up, and you turn the page. One more time like this, opening the legs, closing the right over the left, and meet me back Place your hands on your inner thighs and press down lightly, maybe about 40%. And simultaneously press the legs into the hands and the hands into the legs. Press, press, press. A little bit more, and then release. Notice how when you release, maybe you went a little bit deeper in this pose, or maybe not. Pick your feet off the mat. I have dog hair in my nose. Pick your feet off the mat, keeping your knees wide and the soles of the feet together, and reach. See if you can grab your ankles with your hands. If not, you can close the knees a bit more. Begin to gain some momentum. You might look a little silly here as you get going, but gain a little momentum here. Rocking up and down the spine a few times until you can get yourself to a seated position. Massaging the erectors, the big muscles on either side of the spine. And come to meet me in a seat. We'll keep the position of the legs still. Soles pressing into each other, knees wide apart. Create a long spine here, reaching up from the crown of your head towards the ceiling, stacking the shoulders on top of the hips. Begin to create some hip circles here. Coming forward and backwards. She's gonna sit on me. Oops. Going forward and backwards. I like to come forward on an inhale, reaching my chest forward, and on an exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the pelvis forward. And try not to think too much about the movement, just make it fluid for yourself. And switch directions. Going forward and backwards, dancing on this pelvic bowl. And make your way back to the center. Flap your wings a little bit. Flap, flap, flap. And then we will, brain fart. We'll keep the legs, and the edges of the feet can be as close or as far away to the pubic bone as you'd like. Maybe for this next thing we're moving into, you move them a little bit further apart. We'll take our arms up to a cactus, so 90-degree bends in the arms and directly out to the side. On our inhale, we'll reach the chest forward, we'll squeeze the shoulder blades onto our back body, exude your heart forward, create a slight double chin here as you press the skull of the head towards the back of the room. On your exhale, go the opposite way. Forearms will come close to one another, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, elbows go wide, shoulder blades squeeze onto your back body. Create that mini double chin. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, a few more times like this on your own breath. Opening wide across the collarbone, the chest area, exhaling. Warming up the shoulders. Rounding it, pressing the forearms into one another, creating more space between your shoulder blades before squeezing them back together. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Make your way back to center. We will cross our legs and crawl over them, or if that doesn't work for you, keep the legs out to your side and roll your way over and meet me in a tabletop position, stacking wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. We'll warm up the wrists a little bit before moving into the rest of our practice, as it's just really important to do to avoid any pain while we move through things like downward dog or any other wrist stuff that we might be doing. So, middle fingers turn towards the top edges of your mat. So slight turn out with the hands. Bend the elbows, wrap them behind you as if you're screwing on lids of jars. Puff up gently through the back of the heart. Press the skull back. Tuck your pelvis forward to get this arch out of the spine. Squeeze an imaginary block between your thighs and tuck your toes under. Send the weight a little bit more forward in the palms and begin to peel the palm of your left hand off the mat, pressing into the first mound and the fingertips to lift up. And now go to the right, lifting up the heel of the hand. Send the weight more forward. Press up and down, up and down. If you want a little bit more, you can try both at the same time. Pressing down to come up. This should warm up the forearms right away. And create strength to protect our little wrists. A few more times like this. Great. Now, reintegrate everything we just talked about. Bend the elbows if you lost it. Re-wrap them back behind you. Squeeze the block between your thighs. Tuck the pelvis forward. Puff up through the back of the heart. Great. Now, send more weight into the right leg and pick up your left leg, plugging it into its socket. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked here. Now wing the leg out to the side as if you're a puppy peeing on a fire hydrant. Hold it there. And then extend your leg if you can. Keep even pressure through your hands. Trying not to banana back here. Keep everything we just talked about, using the strength of your quad and your glute to help keep that leg there. And then drop it down to the floor so the edge of the foot is on the ground now. And hug it back in towards the midline. Transfer more weight onto the left palm. Pick up to your right fingertips. Reach for the sky. Creating a spinal twist here. Now thread that right arm through underneath the left arm and bring it down to the floor. Try and get your shoulder and the side of your head to the floor as well. You can always place a block underneath. You can always place a block under the head if the other variation is not happening for you. Try and relax into this posture. And when I say relax, I actually mean keep everything activated. So pulling that left leg into the midline, pressing down with the back of the right arm and plugging it back into its socket. And the left arm can be close to you, or you can extend it up overhead. Wringing out the spine here like a towel. Left fingertips back towards your face. Press down through the palm to pick that right arm back. Open it up towards the right side of the room. One more time. Replace the right arm down. And send the weight back for a half child's pose? Question mark? Getting a little bit of a hamstring stretch in that left leg. Make your way back through center. Use the strength of that leg to pick it back up, bend the knee, and place it back down next to your right. Walk your hands a little bit more forward. Pull the palms towards your knees so you lengthen out your torso. Bend the elbows, wrap them towards the midline, and lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. Tap the tops of the feet onto the floor. Pull up on the ligaments of your legs. Lengthen the tailbone. Push the pubic bone into the mat. And lift your eyes, chest, chin off the floor. If you've done my other class, you know where we're headed. We'll squeeze the shoulder blades onto our back body and down away from our ears. Keeping all this energy, pick up the hands at your side. Just try and breathe here. Won't be here too long. You can release that. Send the right hand a little bit more out in front of you. Peel yourself up into a cobra, keeping the left hand where it is, right arm a little bit out in front of you, maybe a few inches. Press down into the left hand and roll your body over to the side. So we're stacking the hips on top of one another. You can keep the legs a little bit stacked here. We're coming into a side mermaid pose. And this pose is really significant to me because my channel is called Calypso Yoga. And Calypso is, in Greek mythology, is a sea nymph. If you look up a sea nymph, you'll find images of mermaids. So, very symbolic. So here, we'll micro bend the right arm, wrap it behind us. So it's a bit of a tricep wrap here. We'll drop our right rib cage to the floor as if it's a stone. Breathing length into the side body while we cinch at the left. And here it's okay for the shoulder to shrug up a little bit towards the ear. From here, we'll pick up the left leg, the leg that's on top, bend it, and try and place it in front of our right leg. The whole sole of the foot is on the floor. Take another inhale here, and on the exhale, maneuver yourself into a bit of a forward fold. So if you have to change your arm positioning, please do so. So I brought my right arm a little bit further forward, and I'm reaching my left hand down the mat. We're aiming for an outer hip stretch, as well as compression on the inner thigh. Make your way back up. Place the palms of your hands to the top of the mat. Oh, sorry. That was wrong. Place your right palm back to where it was at the top right of the top right corner. Press down into the edge of that right foot and the sole of the left foot to pick your hips up towards the sky. Left arm can arc up overhead. Shoulder blades squeezing onto the back body. Left fingertips will come down to the mat. We'll pivot our feet, so rolling on the balls of them. to come to back to the front of our mat. And from here, we'll just lower the knees down to the mat. Fun. You can lower onto your forearms here. This is kind of like a modified pigeon position. So the left knee is on the outside of our body here, bent. And adjust as needed. You're not glued where you land. But start to find some activation here. So pull the forearms towards your hip and simultaneously pulling that left knee towards the hip. So we create a little bit of heat in the front of that right thigh. Tint the right hand into the center of your mat. Bend the right knee and try and pulse that heel, squeezing the leg, squeezing the heel towards that butt. Pulse it there a couple times. Yeah. Now, press your forearm down and away. Reach back with your left hand and see if you can grab the inner or outer edge of that right leg. We'll go for our quad stretch here. Ooh, it's different. Breathing down the side of that front right leg. I like this pose here because you don't have to, I like stretching the quad here from this position because you don't really have to worry about your knee business like you would in a lizard pose when your knee is on the mat. You can just really focus on that thigh stretch. Release that when you're ready. Now the best part of the whole class, you'll extend that right arm more forward. Come onto your side and roll your way onto your back. Ooh, using the strength of your hand to push you back. So we'll keep that knee tucked in, right? Right leg extended, left knee in. You can grab the outer edge of that left foot for a half happy baby. If that's not working out for you, feel free to grab your shin or the back of your thigh. Meet yourself where you are today. And from day to day, that can change. Tug the left foot down towards the ground. Breathe here. And now we'll go for a little bit of core strengthening. So, squeeze the heel towards your glute. Pick the right foot off the mat. Interlace your fingers. Take an audible exhale. Contract the navel to the spine. Your belly button to your spine. Press the low back down and keep these audible exhales as you pulse towards your right toes, picking the shoulder blades off of the floor. Creating this audible exhale really helps me to pull my belly to my spine. A few more times like this. I'm on fire. Okay, let it go. You can bend the right knee, place the foot onto the ground, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and wing that knee, the left knee out towards the side. You can basketball pulse that left knee away from you a couple times. Nothing forceful, just finding fluidity. And you can stay right here if you'd like, if this is enough on your outer hip, or you can come onto your tiptoes of the right foot, or bring that foot off the mat completely. You can thread the needle here, bringing that left arm through that pocket you've created, grabbing the thigh or the shin, and pulling gently that right leg in to your body. And even here, you can use the left elbow to help wing that knee a little bit more out. And release the legs. Wrap the knees with your arms. And, whoa, don't hit your plants. Ugh. Rock and roll your way back up to a seated position. I'm like, not on my mat here. So if you're not on your mat, it might be a little bit hard on your spine. So make your way back onto your mat. And rock and roll again a few times. I love rocking and rolling. And then cross your legs, fold over, and come into a tabletop position. So now you're at the other end of the mat, and that's okay. If you are uncomfortable with this or you can't see me anymore, feel free to turn the other way. If not, listen to my cues and proceed. So now we have the other side here. Now I just have to remember which side we did do. Okay, got it. So again, press your fingertips into the mat, wrap your elbows back behind you, hug the imaginary block between your legs, tuck your pelvis, puff up the back of the heart, and pick up your right leg into its socket a millimeter off of the floor. Wing it out to the side, puppy peeing on a fire hydrant. Extend the right leg out. And hold it there. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then drop it down to the floor. Oh, hello, outer hip. Squeeze that right leg back in towards the midline. Have to catch my breath here. Place more weight onto the right hand. You can move it more into the center if you need a little bit more balance. Open up the left arm towards the left side of the room. Open twist here. Thread the arm under and through, placing the back of that arm, shoulder, ear onto the mat. Kickstand with the right hand, either closer in or further out. Breathe down your back body. Great. Press your right arm back into the floor to lift the left arm. Extend it towards the sky one more time before returning back to the center and sending the hips back. Nice little leg stretch, half happy baby. Or no, half child's pose. Stand corrected. Come back to the center. Right knee, sorry, got to work that leg. Using the strength of your leg and your glute to pick that right leg back up out to the side, rebend it, and squeeze it back towards the midline. Okay. Walk the hands or the knees a little bit further forward or backwards, however you have space, and drag the palms, the heels of the hands towards your knees. Take the bend out of the back, so we're in this modified plank pose with the knees down. Whew. This should be fiery. Bend the elbows, wrap them back behind you, and then keep bending them, keep bending them, keep bending them. Slowly lower your way all the way to the mat. Nice. Another active cobra here, pressing the tops of the feet down, sending the energy up through your body, pressing the pubic bone down, lengthening the tailbone, picking eyes, chest, chin up, and then on the exhale, pick up your hands. Create that double chin like we did in the beginning with our arm exercise. Whoa, send it towards the back of the room. And exhale. In. Keep your right hand where it is. Extend the left arm out a little bit more in front of you. Inhale, peel your way off the mat for a cobra, another version of a cobra, and then send the weight, rolling your body over to the left side. So now the right hip is stacked on top of the left. You're hanging out here in your mermaid. Imagine what color your tail would be, or your scales. I think mine would be blue with tints of teal. Yeah, kind of like my shorts. So we're dropping the rib cage, breathing in between the muscles of our rib cage. Sending the breath to wherever you feel tension. Now we'll bend the right knee, lift it up, and place it a little bit more in front of the left leg. Sweet. Hang out here for a second. Stick your butt out like you're trying to check it out. Nice. Looks good. And then adjust yourself, moving your hands, and come into a bit more of a forward fold. I like to reach my right hand back towards my left foot. And I keep a generous bend in my left arm to give me a little bit more stability. I'm bowing my brain just a little bit, but I'm keeping a long spine here, so I'm not overly doming. Pick yourself back up. Replace the left hand towards the left top of the mat. Weight down into the left edge of the foot and the sole of the right. Pick your hips up, pressing down into the the L shape of that left hand. Maybe the right arm overhead. Round down, place the right palm to the right top of the mat. Swivel on your feet. So now we're on the balls of them before dropping the knees towards the ground. Yes. Right away, I'm magnetizing my knee and my hip towards each other. I'm coming onto my forearms and also squeezing them back, dragging them back. Tint the right fingertips toward, I think so. Nope, sorry. Tinting the left fingertips towards the right corner of the mat now. So we made a nice kickstand for ourselves. Push the ground away, reach the right arm back. Oh, before you grab it, squeeze that left heel to your left glute. Reach back, see if you can grab the foot. And relax here in your quad stretch. Breathing into the front of that left leg. And pushing the left foot into the right hand. Create a little bit of traction there. You can let that go. Right arm back to the front of the mat. I got a big plant in my way, so I'm going to move it as I send the left arm more forward. So I'm coming on more to my belly, tinting my right fingertips, and turning myself onto my back body. Now keeping that right knee hugging into my chest. Left leg extended. Give that right knee a little bit of a squeeze before reaching for that foot with the right hand. Again, you can always grab your calf or your thigh, or you can grab a strap and put it around as well. That works too. Tug that right foot down. You know where we're going next. A little bit of core work here. Fiery. So, release your hold. Clamp your leg. Clamp that right leg so the foot comes towards the bum. Pick up the left foot. Interlace your fingers. Reach your head and your shoulder blades off of the mat. More dog hair in your nose. Reach for those left toes and pulse. 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 I'm off the mat again here, so if this hurts your low back, either put a blanket underneath or make your way back on. Interlace the fingers. Again, those audible exhales help me to contract my belly to my spine. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did I trick you? Hope so. Trick ya. Bend the left knee, place the foot on the floor, cross that right ankle over your left knee. Wing the knee out to the side. Play a little bit of basketball with it. And then if you'd like, pick the left foot off the mat, interlace your fingers, thread that needle, and bring that shin a little closer to your chest. You can even press the back of the head into the mat. Just notice how this might do something for your neck. Let go of the hold that you have. Make your way back onto your mat before rocking and rolling. Once again, meeting me back at the top of the mat, or if you are not there, please meet me. Okay, rolling over the legs. And this time, sure what that was. Somebody was yelping. And here, reaffirm your tabletop before making your way into your downward facing dog. Wrapping those elbows back behind you. Squeezing an imaginary block between the triceps and the legs. Puffing up through the back of the heart. Keeping the knees bent. Weight into the hands. Pick the knees a millimeter off of the floor. Hold it. Hold it, and over the count of 5, 4, 3, press yourself back to a downward facing dog. 2, 1. For this next sequence, I'm gonna move a little faster now that we're done with our warm-up, so our bodies are hopefully ready to move a little bit more fluidly and more quickly. So from your downward facing dog, press the palms into the mat. Wrap the triceps towards one another. Lengthen the spine, keeping micro bends or generous bends in the knees, reaching the heels for the floor. Gently pulling up on my pelvic floor. Take a few deep breaths here. Begin to place more weight into the left foot. Pick up the right foot and slice it open towards the right side of the room. Whoa, picking it up just like we did in that tabletop position, using the strength of the glute and the quad, and then place it in front of the left. Gas pedal that foot, yeah. Pick the left foot up, slice it out towards the left side of the room. Slower than you want, place it in front of the right, and make your way up into a forward fold, going this way. Gas pedal that left foot, slicing the right foot out to the side. Whoa, hello, hip flexors. Place in front. One more time. See how close you can get to your hands. Woo, maybe you touched the forearms with the feet, maybe not. Micro bends and then generous bends in the knees here. Create the stomach to thigh connection. Rooting into the heels of the feet. Letting the palms hang heavy, the head hang heavy. And sending a little bit more weight into the balls of the feet. Lengthening the hamstrings. Take an inhale here. Lift up for a flat back. Hands could be on the floor, shins or thighs. And exhale. Bend the knees so much. Send the weight back until all the way until your bum reaches the floor for a little squat. Woo! Arms can come in between the thighs. Keep rounding, keep rounding, keep rounding. See how much you can round. Maybe your butt touches the floor. And we're back into a seated position. Take a sip of water, do your thing, and we will move on. So, a little bit more hip work here. We will extend the right leg out. Left knee will be bent and the sole of the foot on the inside of that right thigh. Again with those cactus arms here. On an exhale, turn your torso so it's facing over top of that left leg. Now using the strength of your core and your hip flexors, press your leg into the ground. Send your torso back in space, back in space, back in space. Keep that foot rooted until maybe you can't anymore. And then you release your forearm onto the mat. Pick your hips up towards the sky for a mini fallen triangle. Make it pretty. Express yourself. And then lower yourself back down. Using, again, your core and the strength of those hip flexors to crunch your way back up. So we're not pushing ourselves up. We're really integrating everything in our, I was going to say midriff, everything in our, mid area, our abdominals, and the strength of our hips to bring us up with control. So we'll do that a few times here. Recenter. Take an inhale. Exhale. Over to the side. Send the weight back, send the weight back, send the weight back. Crunch into your side here so much. Release the forearm. You might hit a breaking point where you just fall. That's okay. Just keep working on it. Press the forearm down. Lift the hips up. Find a little bit of length in the side body. Lower down. Ooh, pick yourself up. Nice. Re-square. Inhale. Exhale. Out to the side. Bend, 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 bend. Send the weight back. Lift the hips up. That was our last one, but I didn't want to tell you. And contract, contract, contract. Bring yourself up. So you really have to squeeze everything taut. Okay. We will plant the sole of the foot onto the mat of that left foot. So our knee is facing up towards the ceiling, and it's like we're crouching over it, which is exactly what we're going to do now. Left fingertips can come behind you. Sorry, right fingertips can come behind you. Oops. Lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling and reach forward as if you're going to touch the right toes. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Internally rotate the arm so the palm is facing towards the side of the room now. See if you can wrap and hug that left leg. So like I said, we're really working on this compression. We're crunching into ourselves. We're not really rounding here. We're trying to keep the long spine. We're rooting into our sit bones, hugging them towards one another, and sending the weight forward. Seeing if we can grab that left leg with our internally rotated arm. If you want to go for a fun bind here, you have the option to bring the right hand back behind you and interlace the fingers. Athena ones love it. Mwah! Give your dog a kiss. Mwah! Now from here, if you have this bind, you can try and pick up using that this connection we've created. So if your fingertips meet or they clasp, even if they don't, you can keep them really taut here. See if you can pick up that leg and try and maneuver the left foot. Athena needs to move out of the way so y'all can see. So I'll scooch back. You'll squeeze, lift up, and bring the left foot over top of the right leg. So I'll show you again. If you don't have the bind, that's okay. You can just simply grab your thigh like you're trying to give it a hug. Lift it up and place it over. I think that's gonna jump up on the couch. Okay, so now we're here in this little cross-legged position. And from here, we're going to move back into that mermaid pose. So what? We've been here before, right? So readjust yourself on your mat. But it's the same legs that we had when we picked. Forget what I was going to say. We'll just keep going. So the fingertips will come to the other side of the room and turn the weight so we're pivoting our torso back so our hips are stacking more on top of each other. Adjust your hands however you need, and we're back in this mermaid pose. Huh, funny, we've been here before, right? So like I was going to say, the leg is in the same position as if we were, whoa, almost fell, picking it up and placing it in front. But now we just move from this position, twisting the torso, whoa! So now we're on our side, chilling out in our mermaid. Swimming through the Mediterranean, yeah. Okay, from here, fun part. We'll heel toe that left foot up, sorry, the right foot up, I'm getting confused. The right foot up, so now the ankle and the heel will meet. Inhale your left arm up and open towards the side of the room. Place them down behind you, roll onto your booty. So now we're stuck in this figure four position. We've been here too, right? So, but when we were reclined, now we're just on our booties. So, fingertips can be facing away from you. Press down into them and the right foot to lift your hips towards the sky. Yes. Keep micro bends in the elbows here so we're not locking out bone on top of bone. Keep it steady. Take another inhale. Take an exhale. And then on an inhale, extend the left leg up, and now we're just going to cross it over and lower the sit bones back down. So, as if we're like a sexy librarian. Okay, now, pick up the toes. Well, okay, the legs will be crossed, and then you'll just cross the shins in front of each other. Left hand will come back to the front of the mat, and we'll pick our way up and make our way back to a downward facing dog. So we just swiveled a little bit. So again, I didn't explain that very well, so I will try again. So the shins will be crossed. So after that cross leg, shins crossed. Hug yourself in. Turn your torso back towards the right side of the room. Right hand planting, left hand planting. Pick up the feet and swivel. So we're back in our downward facing dog. You're not fluid where you land, so move however you need to get yourself to where we want to go. So now we're back in a downward facing dog, facing the other side of the room. We're going all around the mat today. So again, walking our way up to the front, gas pedaling, and slicing. Gas pedaling, and slicing. Gas pedaling, picking up the left foot, woo, slicing it out to the side, placing it in front of the right, woo, gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, and back to our forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, fingertips pulling towards the feet, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, send the booty down towards the floor. Keep bending, keep bending, keep bending. Woo, till you come to a squatting position. Reach your arms more forward, round, 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 round to the spine, and maybe your sit bones. Boop. Pop onto the mat gently, and we will extend. I always get confused with the sides, so what do we do first? Yeah, so now the left leg extends. The right knee will go out to the side. So we're in like almost figure four shape with the legs here. A different kind of figure four, but it should look like a four. Anyways. Oh yeah, awful core work. So turn your torso, audible exhale, over that right leg. Send the weight back, keeping that left foot rooted. Oh, lower the forearm, pick the hips up. Here comes Athlete up. Just wondering what I'm doing. And lower the sit bones onto the floor. Pick your way up. Yes. 2 more times here. Take an inhale, exhale. Say hi to the camera. Wave. Send the weight back, send the weight back, send the weight back. Crunch your side. Ow. Lower the forearm, pick the hips up. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, lower the bum. Pick your way up to a seat. Straighten out the core. One more time? I think so. Audible exhale. Turn to the side. Send the weight back, send the weight back, send the weight back. Squeeze your quad, squeeze your hip flexor. Lift up. Make it pretty. Lower yourself down. Ooh, last one, good one. Yes. The knee will come up towards the sky. Left fingertips plant behind us. Reach up with the right hand. Reach forward for those left toes. Maybe you can grab them. Yes. Now, we're going for that half or full bind. Or you can just hang out here in this forward folded position and then grab your leg like you're giving it a hug when we're ready to pick it up. So, for people taking the bind, reach the hands as forward as you can. Internally rotate the hand so the palm faces outwards now. Wrap. And try and find your hip crease with the right fingertips. Rooting down through the sit bones to pick up the left hand. Bring it back behind you. Maybe finding your fingertips or your wrist. Creating a little clasp. Taking an inhale. On the exhale, picking up that leg by clamping it down. And seeing if you can send it over the right leg. Fun! One more time, let's try it again. Squeezing that leg, really hugging it in. Using your abdominal muscles to help lift. Place it over. Cool. Release the bind if you have it. Maneuver your way onto your side so we're back on our mermaid. Adjust however you need to get there. This side's a little bit less sticky for me, so I didn't have to move as much. Hopefully you can still hear me even though I'm not facing the camera. Hang out on your mermaid. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk it forward. Bend the left elbow. See if you can reach. Maybe you tap those toes. Maybe. Maybe you just come a little bit more lower down in your fold. From here, we heel toe, so the left knee comes in contact with the right ankle. I open up my chest towards the right side of the room until my hands plant on the floor. This time we'll keep the fingertips facing, oh, we did that last time. Okay, so let's try it this way. Fingertips facing towards your bum. Figure four shape with the legs. Bend the left knee. Place the sole of your foot onto the ground. On your next exhale, pick your torso and your hips off of the floor. This is called altar pose. Good for neutralizing. Stretching the other way, as we've done a lot of compression work so far, so we're just evening it out a little bit here, giving yourselves a break. Take another inhale, take an exhale. On an inhale, extend that right leg, make it pretty showgirl, and then cross the legs. Sexy secretary, lower the sit bones down. Cool. Now we'll just cross the shins. Toes are glued on the floor. We'll turn towards the right side of the room now. No. We'll turn towards the left side of the room now. Left hand going towards left top of the mat. Right hand plants as well. Pick it up and swivel your way back to a downward facing dog at the front of your mat. Yay! You can come out of your downward facing dog for just a second while I explain what we're doing next. We will be moving into a dynamic movements sequence now, where I want you to worry less about coming into the full range of motion in each posture and worry more about the fluidity between the transitions. So maybe dialing it back about 30%. We will be moving into our arm balance at the end of the sequence, so that is when you should give it your all and bring it 100%. So when you're ready, let's get to it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So, starting in our downward facing dog, we'll move a little bit quicker, tiptoeing your way up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Drill through the heels of your feet, bend the knees, and one vertebrae at a time, roll your way up to a standing position. Send more weight into the left leg. Keep it micro bend. Inhale, arms and leg up. Keeping a 90-degree bend in that leg. Swing it back behind you on the exhale. So we're sending the outer edge of that right foot towards the left side of the room. Place it down on the floor. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull up and over for a side body stretch. Take another inhale. Exhale. Swirl your way down. Hands meet the mat. Pick up the right foot from the inner thigh and send it back behind you until the toes meet the mat. Bend the bend the right knee, bend the left knee too. Magnetize both your legs and be risen up to a low lunge. Hello. Take another inhale, exhale. Send the weight back. Go for a half splits with your hands or not on the floor. Come back forward. Retuck those back toes. Pick up the back knee. And now we're in our high lunge. Awesome. So, take another inhale on the exhale. Bend both of your knees. Lengthen the tailbone down. Tuck the pelvis forward. Scissor the arms so the left arm goes back, right arm goes forward. And we dip down and come up. We straighten the legs when we come up on the inhale. Exhale, we bend the knees. Scissor the arms. Whew. Inhale to come up. Exhale, bend the knees. One more time. Next time we come up, whoa, find your balance. Spin the right foot back down to meet the mat. Back foot is bisecting that front heel. We're in our warrior two position. Maybe you've been here before, maybe not. Bend into that left knee some more. Reach forward on the inhale. Exhale, tip it back. Reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. But keep the left arm up. Right hand meets the mat. We pivot on the ball of the back foot. Spin to the edges of both our feet. Heel toe that left foot more towards the center of the mat to make it more comfortable for you. Reach up and over with that left hand. Squeezing that right side body. And pulling the legs towards one another. Take another inhale. On the exhale, bend into that right elbow to lower your side body back to the mat. We're in our mermaid. All right, now adjust however you need to make it more comfortable and accessible. We are moving into our arm balance now. So I need to move my left foot a little bit more back behind me to find my forward fold here. We've been here, we've done this, we know this. I'm reaching for those back toes. See here, I need my right foot to be a little bit more forward because I'm going to grab it, the outer edge of it. I'm gonna get up close and comfortable with myself, and I'm gonna use the pressure of my left foot and my right hand to pick up my weight of my lower half of my body. So I will use a little bit of momentum to expel me forward, press so much so into the mat with the foot and the arm, and I'll pick up the right leg using my left arm. And I'm squeezing the legs into one another, so I'm kind of creating this traction here to hold myself here. Now this is our baby grasshopper. Really nice. Hold it, and then lower the sit bones back down. Great. So now, my knee is already close to my left ankle, so I'm just going to bend that right leg and send that heel towards my bum. I'll reposition my sit bones onto the mat, and I'll go for a counter stretch, twist, reaching my right arm up and hooking it over that left thigh. Whoo! Pressing into myself, using my abdominal muscles to help coil me over to the left side of the room. Should feel really good. And from here, we're going to swivel just like we did in that other sequence by placing our hands back towards the front of the mat, picking up the feet and swiveling back to a downward facing dog. Right, we're already ready here for the other side. Well, kind of. We have to tiptoe our way up to the front of the mat. Okay, forward fold. Dig into the feet. Reach down to come up for your mountain pose. Take a breath. Send more weight into the right foot. Micro bend the knee. Pick up the left knee. Pick up the arms. Send the left heel back behind me. Outer edge of the left foot onto the ground. And squeezing back towards the midline. I'm reaching up and grabbing my left wrist with my right hand. And I'm pulling up and over. Breathing into my side body. Before rounding down, hands come to the floor. Pressing down through the right foot to pick up the left and send it back behind me. Keep bending into the right knee until the toes meet the ground. Nice. Bend the left knee. Squeegee the feet towards one another. Rise to a low lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Send the weight back. Whew. Drill that heel down and back. Inhale. Keep the toes tucked. Lift up for a high lunge. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we go for those little lunges. So exhale. Turn the torso over to the right. Split the arms. Whew, like a windmill. Whoa. Try and keep your balance. One more. Inhale to come up, straighten the legs, and swivel that back foot down to meet the mat. Bend deeper into that right foot. Warrior two pose. Reach forward. Reach back. Exhale. Cartwheel the hands down to meet the mat. But spin on the back foot. So now we're in more of a runner's lunge. Left hand meets the mat. Heel toe that right leg out to the center of my mat more. Spin to both edges of my feet. Keep heel toeing if you need. Inhale. Arch that spine for our side body stretch. And then lower our side bodies onto the mat. Take a second in your mermaid before moving into the arm balance. So, now you're seeing it from a different angle here if you're watching. But I'm going back into my forward fold that we had done before. Bending into my left elbow, wrapping it towards the midline. reaching back, seeing if I can touch my left toes. You can move the foot forward if you know you need to grab it. If you know you need to do that to grab it. Get up close and personal with yourself. Hug everything into the midline. Maybe teeter-totter your weight until you can come forward. Pick up your bum off the mat and plug that left leg back into its socket by hugging it in with that right hand. Hold it, hold it. I'm squeezing the legs together to keep me here. And you can release. Just bend that left knee until the heel meets the bum. Roll more onto your sit bones. Right arm behind me. I'm lift up. And I exhale, move into my twist towards the right side of the room. Nice counter stretch. Feels really good. And exhale. I spin my way back to the front of the mat. And I pick myself up, swiveling on my legs and meeting myself back in a downward facing dog. If you didn't have enough fun with that, you feel free to try it a few more times, moving in and out of that posture, seeing if you can get that arm balance. It's called baby grasshopper. It's really fun, really cute. So great job, everybody. I hope you had fun with that, and maybe you're successful in your arm balance. If not, it's just something to keep working towards. There's also a variation of full grasshopper, which is even harder. And we will visit that in another class. So for now, drop the knees. We will move into our cool down because we worked so hard. And just lower yourself onto your bellies. Thank God. Okay. And from here, we'll do one more active cobra just to neutralize all of that compression work that we just did in our front body. But take a second here and just chill. Let blood flow return to normal. Inhale, eyes, chest, chin. Engage the legs. Pick your hands up off the mat. Oh, just for a second. And then release. Oh, well, I'm going to kill you there. Don't worry. We'll take our hands out into a T position. I'll tent my left fingertips by my rib cage, and I'll roll my hips to stack on one another, on top of one another. I'll bend my left knee, kickstand it back behind me, and I go for a pec stretch in my shoulders. As well as a mini twist through my lower body. Taking deep inhales and exhales. Returning my heart rate to normal if it got a little sped up during that dynamic movement sequence. And roll your way back to center. Extend the left arm, hinge the right fingertips, and roll your way onto your side body. Giving your shoulder a little bit of love. Exhale, come back through center. Oh. And then roll your way onto your back. If you fall off your mat, doesn't really matter. We'll just bend the knees and knock them in towards one another for a bit of a constructive rest here. your blocks are nearby, feel free to grab one and place it under your sacrum. Let blood flow drain the other way now. Elevating the hips after doing so much. Elevating and elongating the front hips as we did a lot of compression work, a lot of crouching and squeezing into ourselves. Pick the hips back off, remove the block, and gently, without hitting anything, release one leg and then the other. Lose any constriction you may have had on your breath and let it return to normal. Gently close the eyes here. And tune back in. Take as much time as you need here in your Shavasana before bending the knees again and rolling to one side, gently resting in a fetal position. Before pushing your way up and back to a seated seat. I hope you had fun learning how to do a baby grasshopper with me, and maybe you were inspired by some of these movements that I was when I was free playing in my practice, and hopefully that inspires you to do the same, to just get moving and find weird postures and weird ways to get into movements, and then before you know it, you have your own authentic movements practice. Thank you so much for joining me